Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Citizen Sleeper. And we are still very much under the gun, guys. We are halfway through with Eshe's run, and we definitely need to get moving on some of this stuff because time is ticking. So over here, with the Havenage hangar, we've got our suspicion up to 1, which is unfortunate, but the upgrade is going through. Let's see what we're doing here. We've got 2 with the tug escort. We've got some good dice here. We just need to be careful how we're using it. We've got 2 4s. I guess it doesn't really matter necessarily how we get these clear so much as we do. And then we'll swing over. Yeah, I think that'll work out nicely. Let's go ahead and do slice thrusters here. That'll give us a 6. Basically, all of our dice now have to go into this operation. We do not have a choice. Sabotage the sensors. Now what about here? Convince a crew. Lovely. We'll get that stuff to half, for the most part. Yeah, everything's at half. So, let's re-roll. Ew. I don't like that 2. But we gotta kind of do what we have to here. Food for the flotilla. To harvest it. What about the water? Gotta check the water as well. And that's dangerous. Let's go ahead and start that action. Maybe we get this one to half. Cool. And then over here for the algae stack, we're already halfway done on this, so we're kind of okay. Kind of. We'll go ahead and use our dice for this. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Algae growth is now lowered. Can't bat 1,000, unfortunately. But I think that was a productive day. Let's go ahead and get some food. Cryo is not an issue for us. Also, our status isn't bad either. Or condition, rather. Okay, end the cycle. These days will just be flying by. Oh, that's what I like to see. Lovely. Let's go ahead and repair ourselves. Oh, never mind. That's a ship mine fragment. Whoops. That's okay. Maybe we'll get some scrap here doing some engineering actions. And the time is ticking. So if we do, I mean, technically, we've got 5 things to do. If we have really good dice, we're making progress on every single one of them. We can actually beat the clock. So let's go ahead and convince the crew. Great. Havenage hanger to slice the thrusters. Sabotage. That gave us some definite breathing room, and I'm glad. Okay, now. I don't know necessarily. Let's go ahead and make up for that unfortunate set of affairs. There we go. Reroll. And that gives us a 3. Which we go to the reservoir. We just lose condition if we mess this up. And maybe raise an alert, but it's worth the risk. Okay, good. Good. And we got some scrap too. Which is very useful to us right now. Not just for selling, but also for patching up the wear and tear. A little bit of money. And hopefully this works out for us, guys. It's like no time for discussions or dialogue or, you know, deep-seated questions about the nature of existence. We got stuff to do. Tick-tock. Alright, how many days? We got 4 days for this. Let's go ahead and use our low dice for this. Cool. Crew canteen. Oh. Okay, suspicion has been raised a bit. I really don't want to waste any more of my time on that, though. You know? To have to lower suspicion. Slice some thrusters. Good. Now we just need 1 for each. This is doable. This is very doable. Now the water... Let's go ahead and do that, since we're kind of falling a little bit behind on that one. Reroll. Oh, excellent. And some more food. You work carefully and attentively and manage to maximize the yield of the stack with little or no wastage. Alright, so does that go ahead and clear that out? Oh. You're leaning against the metal crates you just loaded up with algae, packed and dried into bright green pucks. Eshe hops onto one beside you, flexing her aching back. Is this enough? Eshe squints at you, as if you just interrupted her train of thought. It's a look you've become familiar with. It doesn't matter either way. This is what we've got. She sighs, rubbing the back of her neck. In these past cycles, working the algae stack with Eshe, you've had a little insight into her mind. She really seems happy to start a conversation, but is always eager to end one. Despite this, you feel like something has grown between you. Something like silent trust, the kind that tends to seed itself in the fertile soil of hard but necessary work. There's something I've been meaning to ask. Eshe raises her head cautiously. Go on. Why help the flotilla? Or actually, now that's kind of makes sense, but yeah. Why escape XPR? Eshe pauses, her protective instinct fighting with the trust you've built. You can see her begin to shrug the question off, and then she stops, rethinks, and sighs. What you need to understand, Sleeper, is that Erlen's Eye wasn't the only place where the Solheim collapse happened. Sure, Hawthorne, where we grew up, was an XPR installation, but that didn't screen it from Solheim going under. Actually, Solheim was the only reason XPR were ever here. She pauses, hesitant to get into the whole story, but wanting to offer something. She flinches, correcting herself. They are a service corp, you understand? They set up outposts in surrogate systems like this to offer refueling, logistics, and maintain services to bigger companies with extraction contracts. She gestures to the eye around her. Like Solheim. When Solheim went bust, XPR lost their client. And Hawthorne? Well, we lost everything. We became an outpost tasked with just holding on. Keep the refueling platforms running, they said. Keep the outpost stable. Hold on to our claim. She rubs at her head as if recalling all of this was somehow physically painful. Do you know what it's like to spend your entire life in a place with no future? A place that exists only to hold a legal claim to a piece of territory, to shore up breach of contract negotiations between two corporations? It's like living in a... She searches for the word, her eyes jumping back and forth. In a grave. She clenches her hands. So if you're looking for an answer to why questions, that's your answer. We, PK and I, know what it's like to be forgotten, to be locked out. She stares hard at the side of the stack, the algae whirling against the glass in beautiful patterns, and she doesn't look away. The silence extends, and you realize the conversation is over. Eshe seems angry, not at you, but with herself, for even voicing such ideas. After a while, you stand and start to load the crates onto the powered cargo trolley that Eshe will run back to the Briar. As you do, you try to catch her eye, but she avoids it, soothing herself instead with the comforting simplicity of physical work. Okay, that's another part done. Let's go ahead and look at our progress. Okay. One more for that, the 3 stages of PK's plan. We've got all the scrap that we needed. I'm really glad we were able to grab all that scrap. That would have been a real pain. Alright. So what I said about there being no dialogue, that turned out to be a lie. Or an error, at least. Get some din-din, as they say. The merchant freighter has shown up with ship mine fragment pieces. Lovely. Let's go ahead and get some more money before the end of the day. There's our 3 ship mine. I'm still bugged that we messed up our chance to lower the prices permanently there. Alright, now to the fabricator. Our lovely ship mine. 1 ship mine core and X. I don't know what the X was, but... And then, a nice 150 cryo. A little bit of profit. I'll take it. Back to our home. We have plenty of homes throughout the Eye, but this is the only one with a cat. Therefore, it is mine. Okay, this has the potential for being a very, very productive day. And it is going to be a productive day. Lovely. We're probably going to lose a dice after this, but... Oh. A rapid burst of movement catches your attention. A drone, its fins adjusting as it hovers in place, floats in the corridor. Hello? The drone shifts a little, but does not respond. The drone buzzes closer, and a voice gurgles out of its speaker, distorted and strange. Sleeper, come to the cordon. We need to speak. Who is this? The drone clicks and whirls, and the recording starts playing again. Sleeper, come to the cordon. We need to speak. Inspect the drone. You move closer, and the drone bobs away to a safe distance, but as it does, you see the HA of Havenage emblazoned on its side. Could this be Fang's drone? Satisfied it's delivered its message, the drone rotates and accelerates away as rapidly as it arrived. You stare at it as it disappears from sight, hoping for some insight that escapes you. To the cordon, then. Are we going to find out that the flotilla is not what it seems? Okay, hold on. We just need to double check and see if anything else decided to pop up. Up we go. Nothing there. I know the thing is that they should know over at the Ambergris that I'm a little bit miffed. So Ankita can wait. Okay, we've got the... Whoa. Where's the food? The food disappeared. Okay, drone messenger. Let's see what this is. As you enter the passage that leads through the cordon... Oh yeah, we already got the algae, duh. A flash of movement catches your eye. The drone. It stops to make sure you've seen it and then flits into a side passage, leading to a narrow set of stairs. You climb up through a dark shaft, the drone stopping at each landing to check you are following. Despite its lack of expression, there's something overbearing about the way the drone waits, impatiently realigning its fins in sequence. After a long climb, you come out onto an observation platform. The cordon and the vast, ramshackle refugee ships beyond fill your vision. The scale seems impossible, and immediately you feel small and naive for even thinking you could affect this situation. Something shifts nearby. The drone again? Helene, frustrated Havenage councilor. A woman has stood at the window, at the edge of your vision. You aren't surprised you didn't notice her. She too seems impossibly small in the shadow of the flotilla. The drone buzzes by her shoulder, and she turns. Sleeper, I'm sorry for all the cloak and dagger nonsense. She nods at the drone. But I've never regretted being cautious. She smiles a tight smile and holds out a hand. I'm Helene. Shake her hand. The tight smile holds, but the drone keeps its single eye fixed on you. The effect is a little unnerving. Look. She glances around the empty observation deck as if checking for potential eavesdroppers. Let's be straight with each other. I know about your plans and... She cuts in before you can respond. I can understand your motives. You look at her in her overalls, the yellow markers, the HA sigil. You've been on the eye long enough to recognize a Havenage member when you see them. You're Havenage. Yes, I mean, I expect that's obvious. The tight smile again. I hope you won't hold that against me. She glances around nervously again and moves a little closer. This entire situation, I'm not here to defend it. She glances back at the flotilla. No one is happy about this. Especially not the refugees. I'm not your enemy here, no matter what you think. She pauses. Sleeper, tell me something. What does Havenage mean to you? Hardened Hurst. She squints at you. That was unfortunate. But you should know it was one of our own who exposed Harden, and that has been dealt with. Havenage is used to being criticized. In some ways we invite it. Our members are free to bring up grievances at any meeting, to propose new structures and approaches. She shifts her weight impatiently. As a councilor, it is my duty to listen to them. That is why I was elected by the members. We are an imperfect system, yes, and each councilor, each member, whose representative can be flawed and worse. She looks down. But we keep this place running. That is what we do. And non-members? There are paths to membership, and we cannot force everyone on the station to join us. What do you expect? We're an association of individuals. We cannot always account for the needs of those outside that structure. She turns and looks out at the flotilla. No matter how much we wish to. Can the Eye take in thousands of refugees safely? I don't know. This place is a ruin, Sleeper. What do you think the council discusses? The price of Girol? We make plans to keep this place spinning, to keep life support working, to ensure... Helene's slate chirps and a grim look passes across her face as she sees the notification. She looks tired, the screen light casting her rigid expression in a pale glow. Sleeper, I didn't bring you here to explain how Havenage works. I came to talk about your plan to cross the cordon, breach the quarantine, and supply the flotilla. She looks directly at you. How do you know? She glances at the drone. I make it my job to know what happens here. I know you think you're helping the flotilla, but you cannot do this. Right now, halfway along the ring, one of a countless series of debates are being held. These debates are to evaluate the potential harm that could be caused if the refugees of the flotilla are left to enter the station. These debates are at a standstill. Helene walks to the window. Too many in the Havenage Council think of the flotilla as a threat. After recent events, a hardline group has emerged. Protective. Selfish. They seek only to benefit the members. In their mind, the flotilla is a danger to life on the Eye. If you are caught crossing the cordon and breaching the quarantine, it will only strengthen the hardline councilor's case. Criminals who stole a ship from XPR undermining the security of the station? She shakes her head. It's exactly what they want. The refugees need supplies. They do, and that's exactly what I want to give them. But unless the quarantine is lifted through a fair process, they will never get them. And those XPR spaces you're running with? Sleeper, do you know anything about them? Oh, we're gonna stay silent about that because, remember, we saw that weaponry in the back that Eshe wasn't aware that we saw. Why do you think the refugee flotilla came here now? Something is happening in the system. Something is pushing people out of colonies and outposts that have survived since the Solheim collapse. We need to be ready for whatever is coming. Ready to protect the Eye. I know the Eye means something to you. I know there's a reason you're still here. Help me protect it. Helene fixes you with a strong look. Persuade those spacers that this is the wrong move, that they will get caught and the flotilla will be locked down, that Havenage will be delivered into those with the worst instincts. Forget this suicidal supply run with people you barely know. Help me fight for the Eye. So why don't you stop them? If I expose the plan, it's the same as if it goes ahead and they're caught. Every way I look at it, the Eye looks compromised, the quarantine justified. The hardliners get their scapegoat. Don't offer up the excuse the hardliners need to lock the flotilla out altogether, to persuade the members that they are the safest pair of hands. She looks at you imploringly. Please. You look back at her and the flotilla behind, and a sense of desperation in her plea. A notification breaks the silence. Shit. She rapidly scrolls through pages of data. Sleeper, I need to go. She looks torn. Think about this, please. Talk to the spaces. Help them see reason. And she quickly leaves the observation deck before you have a time to respond. You stay for a moment, watching the lights of the tugs and the flotilla, and wonder what it feels like to be on one of those ships. So close to your destination, and yet so far from it. And then you think of the Havenage council chamber across the Eye, where the right of these people to find safety is being debated. You shiver, and then you too are gone, back into the stairwell and the cold dark below. So we're having like the full border crisis right now. Interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and cross over to the Havenage offices real quick. Doo-doo-doo. Fragment supply. Okay. No storyline thing over here. That kind of would have been cool if we could go like try and talk and convince them, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to have to see this through. Because we only got 3 days left. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and convince the crew. Havenage suspicion is very much a thing. A crew willing to escort the Briar through the quarantine will give the ship a better chance. Okay. Oh Lord. You meet PK leaning in a corner of the canteen in their typically unassuming way. It occurs to you as you approach that PK must have some practice at staying invisible. All good? They look up from their slate. That crew you were talking to. They nod to the group leaving the canteen. Will they join us? They'll do it. Nicely done. PK beckons for you to follow as they peel off the wall and head out into the walkway overlooking the cordon. Glad you were here to talk them into it. I never had much of a way with people. PK smiles and looks away quickly as you walk. Why's that? Well, PK pauses. Maybe it'd be more accurate to say people never had much of a way with me. They squint, irritated by their own odd turn of phrase. What I mean is, people have caused me a lot of trouble. I've had people hate me without knowing a thing about me. They tuck their hair behind an ear. I'm sure you know the feeling. I do. PK glances at you. Sorry to hear that. It marks you. Am I right? It does. PK nods. You both walk in silence for a moment. Not an awkward silence, but one of solidarity. PK leads you around a corner, heading back to the main cordon access way. I appreciate you coming and helping us out on this, Sleeper. On talking to the crew and, well, you know. Maybe after this insane plan is done, we can talk properly. They keep looking ahead, and you realize they're nervous. I'd like that. PK smiles, looking down at their feet. That's settled then. they say to the floor. I better report the news to Eshe. We have ourselves a tug escort. PK stops at an intersection. See you soon, Sleeper, and please, take care. And with that, they drift away, their head down, their gait changing as they do, their practiced invisibility shrouding them like a cape. Yeah, definitely something interesting going on here. Okay, guys, well, I think this is a good place to go ahead and end the episode. I mean, we've got the crew canteen taken care of, which is nice. We'll go ahead and finish off the other two and kind of just see where we go. So I hope you all have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. I will see you next time. Later days, everyone.